Right, so this is the next step here on the backpack. So at this point, you should have gotten your cord holder sewn here. Now, this part is going to represent the main bag. On the real backpack, just so you know, there are 2 layers here. You're going to do a lining and an outer layer. On the sample, we're just going to do 1 layer. So you can see right here, there's a outer layer and a lining. But for the sample, we're just going to be doing 1 layer for the practice, okay? So you're going to take your 7x7 piece, and it says, sometimes my instructions say 5x5, but just ignore it. It should say fold 7x7 piece in half, right sides together. So we want to make sure that it's right sides together. So your wrong side is showing here, like this. Then you're going to take your cord holder and you're going to fold it in half this way, okay? And you're going to take your piece, oh wait, sorry, we're not at this folding yet, I skipped a step. So right here, you're gonna measure 1.5 inches with a piece of chalk or a pen or crayon. So I'm gonna take my seam gauge, I'm gonna go to 1.5 inches right here, and you're gonna measure that in right there. Okay, so that's about 1.5 inches there. So that just lets you know that your piece is gonna go in right under that 1.5 inches. Now make sure that the folded side goes inside and that the unfolded side goes over here. Okay, the reason why is because when we flip it out, we want the cord holder to be on the outside. So remember how we sew everything inside out in sewing. So you're gonna pin that in here. So it's pinned in place. So the purpose of doing that is when it comes out, we want it to look like this. So in order to get it to look like this when we come out, we have to put it on the inside there, okay? So we're just gonna pin, put a pin here, put a pin on this side. Mine is a little bit uneven here in the cutting, so I'm gonna go ahead and fix that right now. It's important that it's even when we do the real sample. I'll show it in another video, or when we do the real backpack, I mean, I'll show in another video that why it's important that it's really even right there. Okay, so now we're ready to sew these. So we just did this step and this step right here. So we folded that cord holder, we just put it inside. On the real backpack, it has 2 on there'll be 1 on this side and 1 on this side. Just for the sample, we're just doing it on 1 side just to practice, okay? So right here it says pin the 2 sides together, and you're gonna leave this open, and this is the fold, and you're gonna sew it at 5/8 inch seam allowance. So remember in that original practice line we did at the very beginning, that's the line we're gonna use. So we need to look on our needle plate, we need to find, it's the 3rd line over. 1, 2, 3. The 5/8 line is right there. So you're gonna take your edge right here, and you're gonna line it up with that 5/8 line. You're gonna put the presser foot down like this, and then you're going to go ahead and you're going to sew that 5/8 right there. So go forward, do your back stitching, go forward, you get to the pin, you stop and take out the pin, and you keep going, and you're gonna sew right over that cord holder. And you're gonna get to the end, and you're going to do your back stitching again. You're gonna take this out, you wanna cut those short. Now you'll do your other side and line it up again at that 5/8. Oops, my thread came out of my needle really quick, so I'm gonna fix that. And then we'll line it up at that 5/8 and we'll sew it. After we do that, we're going to do some ironing. So I'm gonna show you how to do that, and we'll take it over to the ironing board. And I'll show you that really quick. Okay. Then we're going to get to the end here and do the back stitching. Then we're gonna cut that. Now, on this step right here, it tells you that you're gonna drape the bag over the ironing board. This one's too small. On the real one, we can drape it, but this one's too small. So I'm gonna show you how to do it on the small one. So the first thing we need to do, and you'll do this on the real back too, is you're gonna cut your seam allowance just in the end. You're just gonna clip it just to the stitches. Do not, I repeat, do not cut through your stitches. You're just gonna cut it right to the stitches, okay? So then it should open up like this, okay? So you're gonna do that on each side. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna walk over to the ironing board. I'm gonna show you how to do the ironing. Oops, clipped right there. Okay, so let's go and head over to the ironing. Don't get any of the other kids' faces in the video. Okay, so we're gonna plug this ironing board in, or the iron, plug the iron in. And my material is 100% cotton, so I can use the cotton setting. But if you're not sure, or it might be a different kind of material, you want to try to use it on a lower, like the silk wool setting or polyester setting, okay? So we're doing the cotton, we're gonna let that heat up. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna open our sides like this and just iron it one at a time. If it were my big bag, I could take it over on the end right here, and I could drape it over the side like this if it were my big bag. But because it's too small for the sample, we're just gonna do it this way. If it's not working out very well for you, you can take the spray and you can spray it a little bit. Don't drench it, just maybe like one spritz like that, okay? And then you can just open it up like this, and you take your iron, it should be hot by now, and we're just gonna take it and go right over that to make it so it's nice and straight. So now that's really warm, and then we can do it, go ahead and do that to the other side as well, so that these are open. And I'll do it to this side as well. Just don't burn yourself. All right, so now that these are open, you'll be ready to do the next step, and that's it for this step.